All right, Los Angeles Lakers fans, let's dive into the latest developments surrounding the team, because things have been moving fast and there's a lot to unpack. One of the most interesting storylines heading into this season has been the addition of a young, athletic, versatile defensive player who has the ability to cover multiple positions on the floor. When you look at the Lakers roster and the types of players they need, having someone who can defend 1 through 3, who has the size, length, and athleticism to guard various opponents, is exactly what they're lacking. This player brings a presence that is immediately noticeable on the defensive end. He can switch across positions, help protect the paint, disrupt passing lanes, and apply pressure without necessarily needing to dominate the ball offensively. He's the kind of piece that could fit alongside key pieces like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, providing the Lakers with the flexibility to rotate lineups and keep defensive intensity high without sacrificing spacing or mobility. At 23 years old, this player still has significant room to grow. The potential upside is clear, and fans were excited to see him in preseason action, curious about how he would mesh with the team's defensive schemes and offensive sets. However, expectations quickly shifted when news broke that he had suffered a grade 2 ankle sprain. This type of injury is not minor, and explains why he hasn't appeared in any preseason games. The Lakers are being cautious, opting not to rush him back, which is smart from both a long-term development perspective and a team health standpoint. Nobody wants to see a young player risk further injury by coming back too quickly. The injury means that while he won't contribute immediately in the preseason, the organization is clearly thinking ahead, preserving his role for the regular season where his defensive skills could make a meaningful impact. It's an unusual situation because it highlights how the Lakers have managed injuries internally. There have been several players whose status wasn't widely communicated, which can leave fans confused about why certain prospects or two-way players haven't been on the court yet. This has now become the third time in a short span where a player's absence was somewhat unexplained, creating a mix of curiosity and concern among the fan base. Meanwhile, other two-way players like Nick Smith Jr. and Christian Coco have already made appearances and shown glimpses of their abilities, which makes the absence of this particular defensive guard even more noticeable. Nick Smith Jr. has looked promising, showing flashes of scoring ability and defensive potential, while Christian Coco has contributed in bursts, demonstrating that he can hold his own when called upon. The contrast between their availability and the absence of a new defensive piece has led to plenty of questions among fans and analysts alike, especially given the promise he showed in the Summer League with the Warriors prior to signing with the Lakers. The anticipation around him was high because he represents exactly the type of player the Lakers need. A young, versatile, defensive-minded athlete who can thrive in multiple roles, provide energy, and contribute to the team's identity on both ends of the floor. The lack of immediate information about his status only amplified the intrigue, creating a narrative that kept fans guessing while waiting for confirmation about his availability and health. Now, looking at the team's overall situation, the Lakers are in a delicate spot because they need to balance immediate contributions with long-term planning. There are players like R.J. Davis who have shown the ability to impact the game in multiple ways. Davis has proven he can defend, score at different levels, and take on the tough assignments that help the team win. He's been impressive enough that the Lakers will need to make careful decisions about how to manage roster spots, especially concerning two-way players and potential call-ups from the G League. The concern is that if a player like Davis isn't secured on a two-way deal or brought up to the main roster at the right time, other teams could swoop in and sign him, meaning the Lakers could lose a promising talent without even having fully utilized his potential. It's a scenario that requires strategic thinking from the front office, balancing the risk of losing a developing player against the potential reward of integrating someone like the defensive guard once he is healthy. The calculations aren't simple, and it's something that management has to weigh carefully as they prepare for the start of the regular season, especially with the team evaluating how all the new pieces fit together in practice and game scenarios. The Lakers' current roster construction emphasizes versatility and defensive capability, and bringing in players who can fill multiple roles is part of a broader philosophy aimed at creating depth while maintaining flexibility. A player like the young defensive guard embodies this philosophy perfectly. His size, approximately 6'5", combined with athleticism and wingspan, gives him the tools to be a disruptive presence. Even if his offensive game isn't fully polished yet, the team can develop that aspect over time. Coaches like Darvin Ham have demonstrated the ability to maximize players' strengths, especially those who can cut, slash, and play off the ball. The potential for him to become a lob threat or contribute as a cutter fits seamlessly into the Lakers' offensive schemes while enhancing defensive reliability. This balance between offense and defense is crucial, particularly for a team that aims to compete at a high level across a full 82-game season and beyond. Developing players in this environment requires patience and careful handling, particularly when injuries come into play, which is exactly the scenario with this guard. Injuries have already forced the Lakers to navigate complex roster situations. Chris Manning, for example, became a central topic because his absence prompted questions from fans and analysts about who would fill specific defensive roles. The way the team has communicated or not communicated regarding these injuries has added a layer of intrigue, highlighting the tension between maintaining internal team strategy and keeping the fan base informed. Players like Eric Dixon and Darius Bazley were previously absent for reasons that weren't fully disclosed, creating a pattern where certain player statuses are ambiguous. The defensive guard situation continues this pattern, demonstrating the team's cautious approach toward injuries while simultaneously creating uncertainty for those watching closely. Despite this, the strategic vision remains clear. Prioritize long-term contribution and player health over immediate availability in preseason games, ensuring that once these players are ready, they can make a meaningful impact on both ends of the floor. The balance between proven talent and potential upside defines much of the Lakers' current decision-making. Players who have performed well in preseason or in limited opportunities need to be assessed carefully against the potential contributions of those returning from injury. For example, R.J. Davis has shown the ability to be an energetic, scrappy defender, capable of taking on tough matchups and contributing as a three-level scorer. His presence on the team is valuable, but the front office must weigh whether keeping him comes at the cost of integrating a young, versatile player who could ultimately provide greater defensive impact over the long term. This requires careful planning around two-way contracts, potential roster moves, and the timing of player returns from injury. It's a chess game where every decision has ramifications for both immediate performance and future roster flexibility. And it is precisely this type of situation that keeps fans and analysts intensely engaged, evaluating the strategy behind each roster move and the potential consequences once the season begins. The Lakers' strategy emphasizes not just acquiring talent, but acquiring talent that fits specific needs. A player like the defensive guard exemplifies the kind of acquisition that addresses a particular deficiency. Versatility on defense, ability to cover multiple positions, and athleticism that allows for impactful plays without being a primary scorer. Even if offensive skills are still developing, his ability to contribute immediately on defense makes him a valuable piece. Coaches can design rotations to leverage his strengths, providing pressure on the ball, disrupting passing lanes, and creating opportunities for fast breaks. This focus on specialized skill sets aligns with the Lakers' broader vision of building a roster capable of adapting to different opponents, maximizing both veteran presence and emerging talent, and ensuring that each player's unique abilities are put to optimal use. This type of roster management, however, brings its own challenges. When evaluating players who are temporarily unavailable due to injury, the team must consider how best to integrate them upon recovery without disrupting team chemistry or development of other young contributors. The decision-making process involves not just talent evaluation, but also timing, team fit, and long-term strategic planning. This approach reflects a deliberate, calculated effort to maximize resources while maintaining competitiveness throughout the season. Fans watching these developments get a glimpse into the complexities of managing a professional basketball roster, where every move is measured against both immediate needs and future potential, and where patient, informed decisions can ultimately yield a stronger, more resilient team capable of competing at the highest level. This narrative surrounding the Lakers' young defensive addition highlights the interplay between potential injury management, and strategic roster planning. While the preseason provides a platform for evaluation, real impact is measured during the regular season, where health, adaptability, and performance converge to define a player's contribution. The emphasis on defense, versatility, and athleticism demonstrates the organization's commitment to building a roster that can sustain pressure, cover multiple positions, and integrate young talent effectively alongside established stars. By carefully managing injuries and assessing talent through both observation and analytical evaluation, the Lakers are attempting to strike a balance between nurturing emerging players and maintaining a competitive edge, ensuring that when these athletes are ready to contribute, they do so in a way that maximizes both their potential and the team's overall performance. As the Los Angeles Lakers move closer to the regular season, the situation with two-way players and roster decisions becomes increasingly critical. The dynamics of integrating emerging talent, especially players who have shown flashes of potential but have yet to fully prove themselves in game situations, is a delicate balance. R.J. Davis, for example, has displayed versatility and energy that make him a compelling option. He can defend, create opportunities, and even contribute scoring across all three levels of the court. The challenge for the Lakers is ensuring that he remains part of the organization while also keeping space open for other high-upside players, such as the young defensive guard who is currently sidelined due to injury. Teams around the league are always monitoring preseason performances and G League activity, and any player who demonstrates the ability to impact games can be quickly signed, which adds pressure to make strategic decisions before it's too late. The front office has to weigh the risks and benefits of keeping players like Davis within the organization versus integrating the injured but promising guard when he is ready, which requires a careful understanding of timing, development, and team chemistry. Timing is particularly important because injuries like the Grade 2 ankle sprain suffered by the defensive guard introduce an element of uncertainty. While he is a high-upside player with the ability to cover multiple positions, defend at an elite level, and contribute athleticism and energy off the ball, missing key portions of the preseason means the Lakers have limited first-hand information about how he will mesh with their current roster. Evaluating players during the early part of the season becomes even more crucial, as the coaching staff will have to determine rotations, identify matchups, and understand how each player complements the established core, including veterans like LeBron James and Anthony Davis. For a team aiming to compete at a high level in the Western Conference, these assessments are not just about filling minutes, but about optimizing every piece to ensure sustained competitiveness over an entire season. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, shockwaves are rippling through the NBA as whispers of a stunning move have taken hold. Moody, the promising young guard who has been seen as a cornerstone for the Golden State Warriors' future, has reportedly agreed to a 3-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. Sources close to the situation, though unofficial, suggest that the decision caught both fans and teammates off guard, igniting a storm of speculation across social media and sports talk shows alike. For years, Moody has been hailed as a rising star in the Bay Area, praised for his sharp shooting, defensive versatility, and the poise he brings to the court far beyond his years. Warriors fans had grown accustomed to seeing his potential unfold alongside the likes of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, envisioning him as a key piece in the team's continued championship ambitions. The sudden shift to the Lakers, however, seems to signal a personal or strategic recalibration on Moody's part, leaving many wondering what prompted the move. The timing of this rumored signing is particularly eyebrow-raising. The Lakers, amid their own roster reshuffling and efforts to reclaim the spotlight in a competitive Western Conference, appear to be making a bold statement by targeting young, talented players like Moody. Industry insiders speculate that the lure of playing in Los Angeles, paired with a potentially more prominent role and the chance to compete under the bright lights of Hollywood, may have tipped the scales in favor of the Lakers. Meanwhile, the Warriors' locker room is said to be buzzing with a mix of disappointment and disbelief as teammates grapple with the reality of losing a player many considered untouchable. Social media has erupted with fan reactions, ranging from heartbreak to outrage. Warriors supporters are flooding forums and comment sections with memes and emotional posts, some calling the move a betrayal, while Lakers fans are already celebrating the acquisition as a coup that could reshape the league's balance of power. Analysts are dissecting every angle: salary cap implications, team chemistry, and how Moody's skill set might mesh with LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the floor. The rumor, whether fully accurate or still in flux, has undeniably injected fresh drama into an already unpredictable NBA offseason. While official confirmations remain absent, the mere possibility of Moses Moody joining the Lakers has reignited the age-old Warriors-Lakers rivalry and set tongues wagging from Oakland to Los Angeles. One thing is certain: if this story proves true, the NBA landscape is about to witness a seismic shakeup, and the fallout from this rumored treachery will dominate headlines for weeks to come. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.